and I quote, "I'll be there in a minute. Give me a second."
Time is relative, folks. Time is relative.
Yes. So, hey, cheers to everybody in the chat.
They're a division rival. I don't care how many wins they get. Screw them.
That wasn't the take I was expecting to hear.
I want to gush over watching live Chris Tanev.
I think that we completely underestimate the skill it takes to play defense.
One highlight or several highlights does not a Calder trophy make.
I'm stepping in here. I'm going to be the crotchety old man here. They need to learn patience. They need to understand the tension, everything, and the drama.
How dare! Look at this. How is McDavid not getting a penalty?
You guys need to calm down with this, okay? You guys need to calm down with it.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for Wednesday, December the 7th. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network, as Flames game day, Canucks game day, lots of interesting things to get into. For this, we'll get to that in a second. We'll just touch on some of the games from last night. The Detroit Red Wings, one game that particularly stood out to me. Ville Husso makes 44 saves. The Red Wings beat the Lightning 4-2. Ville Husso has to be considered one of the best free agent signings of the offseason, considering where Detroit is sitting right now in the standings, and considering what the Blues are going through with Jordan Binnington. That has been a good signing for Detroit. As they continue to roll, Red Wings continue to play very well. The Devils continue to roll. They beat the Blackhawks 3-0. The Winnipeg Jets, Paul Maurice facing his old team, they beat the Panthers 5-2. The LA Kings jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the first, and 5-2 was the final score there. Sidney Crosby continues to do Sidney Crosby things. Did you know that he leads the league in 5-on-5 scoring? Yes, Sidney Crosby, who we keep forgetting when we talk about some of the best players in the game. That guy, yes. Pittsburgh beats the Columbus 4-1. Pittsburgh's not been off to a great start. I will grant you that. But still what Crosby does continues to be impressive. Hey, the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mitch Marner's streak continues. Jason Robertson's streak ends. But more impressive was how the Leafs won yesterday. They got the shutout from Matt Murray, a guy that was maligned in his act. Dubas got a lot of criticism for how he handled his goaltending in the offseason. He brought in Murray and Samsonov. Lets Jack Campbell go to the Oilers. He doesn't look too bad at this particular point in time. Yes, there's been goaltending injuries in Toronto, but they're looking okay right now. They defensively last night lose Victor Mete earlier. They have that late power two-man disadvantage that they had to kill off with two of their best defensemen in the box, and yet newly acquired Connor Timmins, good acquisition, and Rasmus Sandin and Timothy Liljegren get the job done. Maple Leafs win 4-0. The Blues score 7 goals. They beat the Islanders on Ilya Sorokin, 7-4 over the Islanders. The Ducks knock off the Hurricanes in overtime, 4-3. Shane Wright does get his first ever National Hockey League goal before he heads off to the World Juniors, but the Montreal Canadiens are able to hang on to a win this time, 4-2 over the Kraken. So that was what happened yesterday. As for tonight, there are, of course, we'll get to the 7 games, but we'll start with the Flames. They're facing the Minnesota Wild tonight. The Wild are playing very well. They are doing pretty good here, if I don't mind me saying so, as they come in with a record of, sorry about that. Small technical issue. Record of 13-9-2. They are sitting in third place behind the Winnipeg Jets, Dallas Stars, who are tied right now for first in the Central Division. You've got the Wild. I had some questions about the Wild coming into the year, and what was going to happen. Could you handle Marc-Andre Fleury for the full year? Could he do the job again? The Wild, I think, are kind of finding a way. They got off to a really slow start as well, which is also interesting. But they've been able to kind of find their way, and that is, that's good for them. And so that's what's going to happen. Marc-Andre Fleury will get the start in goal for the Wild. It looks like it will be Dan Vladar again before the Flames hit the road for the next little bit here. Not surprised Vladar got the win against Arizona. You might as well run him. You are going to have to play Jacob Markstrom eventually, but right at this particular point, Vladar is going good, so just go with it, I think. And so that's where we're at with that. Here, Flames was a very optional skate, so we didn't see lines or anything like that for the Flames, but I would suspect it would go pretty close. The only thing that looks like, according to Pat Steinberg, is Rooney is in, or Rooney's out, Brett Ritchie's back in, so that's the only other thing going on there. But that's what's happening there. It's good. I think this will be one of the better games of the night, actually. It should be a good game. These two teams are battling in a lot of ways for a playoff spot. They've had some pretty intense games before, so that should be a good game. And just as we look at Minnesota's standing here, 24-13-9, 10 regulation wins. That's kind of where we're at there. And in terms of leaders and points, and you've got Kirill Kaprizov continuing to lead the way with 32 points. Zuccarello 24 is second. Matt Boldy has 18. They still, I think, need a number one center. That's still one of their big issues here. I mean, Joel Eriksson is a solid center, but they could use another one there. Kalen Addison has taken a big step for the Wild this year as well. So should be a good game. I'm looking forward to that. And then we also have Vancouver heading to San Jose. Vancouver coming off that 7-6 Wild game against Montreal. Vancouver and San Jose have had a few Wild games. San Jose scored a late goal last season against the Canucks. The Canucks ended up winning, but chaos should ensue with two teams not in the playoffs. Although I think people forget in Vancouver, 11, 12, and 3 and 25 points is only 2 points out of a playoff spot. But with some people, you think the sky is falling. Considering where they were at the start of the year, I think that they're coming. You're seeing something, and I think the one thing that wasn't talked about enough yesterday, or with the Canucks win over Montreal, yes, they had to come back from a 4-0 deficit. Yes, did they blow a lead in the third? Yes, but there was a tremendous amount of resilience to get that win. That, to me, ugly. Was it ugly and messy and gross and all of those things? Yes, but they still found a way to win. And it doesn't matter how you win. It's that you do. And I think that still builds something there. So, and you got the San Jose Sharks, who are kind of battling in that Connor Bedard Bowl. They've lost 3 in a row. Some talent in San Jose for sure. They will fight you till the end. They're not a cakewalk, the San Jose Sharks, at all. There's some talent there. Of course, we know about Erik Karlsson. He's having a phenomenal year, but Thomas Hertl's there. Logan Couture has 13 goals. Timo Meier has 12. So there's some players in that lineup there. So this should be a good game. I think Vancouver, San Jose should be a fun one there as well. So those are the Flames. That's what the Canucks are doing. Looking at the rest of the schedule here, is we have a few games going on. Of course, we've got I yeah, a little slow there. Sorry about that. Let me scroll up and look at the NHL schedule. We got Washington taking on Philadelphia. Washington coming off that 3-2 win over the Oilers, still out of a playoff spot, 26 points. The Flyers out as well with 23. But as Washington continues there, Buffalo taking on Columbus. Columbus, the worst record in the Eastern Conference with 18 points. Buffalo kind of sliding back there after a good start. I still think that that's a very talented team in Buffalo. We saw that huge hit from Rasmus Dahlin. There's some talent there in Buffalo. It's just, gotta get it. Gotta find a way to keep winning. But 23 points for Buffalo, sitting right now 8 out of the playoff spot in the East. And Boston taking on Colorado. That should be an interesting game. That's probably one of the games of the night. 41 points for Boston, tied for or second overall in the Eastern Conference. Colorado will be without Nathan MacKinnon for 4 weeks. Another injury and an injury-plagued team right now. Does have the second wildcard position technically because of games in hand over Calgary with 27 points. But, with McKinnon, Landeskog, Lakushkin, and Rodriguez out, they are missing a lot of players. You wonder if Colorado is going to pull the trigger on a move here soon to get some depth there. We'll have to see. Got Arizona, who will play the Oilers. Arizona will fight you till the bitter end, but it's quite likely that they will make a mistake. That's been the way of the Coyotes, 18 points. The Oilers are in the first wild card spot in 28. No word who's getting the starting goal, Campbell or Skinner. We'll have to see about that later. Carl Vejmelka, though, I tell you, he's a good goaltender. This is not the Ryan Reeves match because Ryan Reeves was traded to Minnesota. We'll see him in Calgary, but the Rangers are taking on Vegas. Vegas still sitting in first with 39 points. Here, but they've lost 2 in a row and are kind of stumbling along a little bit. But Rangers have stumbled for most of the year. They are sitting outside of a playoff spot with 29 points. Shesterkin, he was another one that said he sucked last week. Not only Jacob Markstrom said that, but Shesterkin said that as well. So Rangers are a bit disappointed in what's going on. So that's what's going on there with the 7 games on a Wednesday in the National Hockey League. As mentioned, Nathan MacKinnon could be out 4 weeks for the Avalanche as he left against the Flyers with an upper body injury. So that's a huge loss, as mentioned, with Colorado there. So we'll see what happens there. The other, just before we toss here, the other interesting thing was reading in Oilers Nation yesterday was talking about the possibility of the Edmonton Oilers hosting an Heritage Classic in 2023. And that looks like that's happening. 20 years ago, of course, they opened the first one against Montreal Canadiens. It's scheduled to be on October 2023, according to Jason Gregor. The opponent and a date not finalized. Gregor suspects it could be the Calgary Flames. But and it could be a great opportunity for the some of the younger alumni of the Oilers, the Ryan Smiths, the Doug Waits, the Jermaine Rollis, and Jason Smith for the Oilers, the Craig Conrad, Jerome Ginla, Robin Regeers to join an alumni for an alumni skate. You still could see the Maple Leafs be there too. I wouldn't be surprised because you still have McDavid versus Matthews. That is always a marquee matchup. And the Leafs travel very well. And could be anyone else. Maybe I can't see it be. I would think the Flames and the Leafs are the 2 favorites for that. but we'll have to see. But it looks like the Edmonton Oilers are hosting the Heritage Classic in 2023. And they usually have that early in the year. It's usually in October. So that will be interesting there. Let's go to the WHL. Some very unfortunate news from Moose Jaw as Cole Jordan has been injured, out for the season with an injury. And unfortunately, that injury has led him to end his hockey career. Yeah, so the Moose Jaw Warriors sent this tweet this morning. Cole Jordan will be undergoing surgery and miss the remainder of the Warriors 2022-2023 season, ending his WHL career. Thank you, Cole, for being a great Warrior. Now, that could not be in his hockey career, but it definitely ends his WHL career, which is all the best going forward for Cole. See what's next for him there. And as the Warriors currently are sitting in the Eastern Conference 18-10 and in fourth place. Would here Jordan, of course, looking at the roster here, yeah, he's out for the year. And yeah, it's just unfortunate when you have that type of situation happen there for a young player looking to move on to his career there. And yeah, very, very unfortunate as 20-year-old. He suffered the injury on November 15th against the Prince Albert Raiders. He 4 seasons with the Warriors, 8 goals, 27 assists, 35 points. He is a 2021 NHL draft pick of the Calgary Flames, 5th round pick. So that's very unfortunate news there. We'll have to see what happens going forward with him. As far as games in the WHL tonight, we have 4 games. We've got the Edmonton Oil Kings in Prince Albert to take on the Raiders. The Calgary Hitmen are hitting the road, and they face the Swift Current Broncos. The Red Deer Rebels host the Medicine Hat Tigers. It's 5 games, sorry. Prince George Cougars taking on the Portland Winterhawks, and the Kamloops Blazers taking on the Victoria Royals. And in the AHL, before we sign off, here we've got just get to the going through there, the Iowa taking on Grand Rapids, Las Vegas taking on Hartford, Belleville taking on Toronto, Syracuse taking on Rochester, Milwaukee taking on Rockford, and Henderson Silver Knights taking on the Ontario Reign. And this just in, the Marie-Philippe Poulin has been named the 2022 Canadian Athlete of the Year. Well-deserved Captain Clutch. She led the women's team to the 2022 gold medal at the 2022 Winter Olympics. Continues to of course dominate every time, finding a way to get that clutch or most important goal. One of the best clutch goal scorers to have played the game of hockey ever. Congratulations, the first women's hockey player to win the award. So we congratulations to Marie-Philippe Poulin for that. She was also honored by Boston University this weekend for her work there, getting some much deserved recognition for an outstanding career as Marie-Philippe Poulin. But we'll leave it there for the news for today. Of course, you can follow us all individually on Twitter. Sean Beardy Canucks 03, Tyler TNOBLE, Christian Schneids SCHNEIDZ, Devin Gordhow 09. I am KEVOLE. Just a reminder, check out the Fireside Podcast. They post every Monday. They had Mike Gould to talk about the Flames and the Wranglers this week. So check that out. And of course, you can follow us Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. We thank you for watching. We thank you for listening. We will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.